Hey, this is Gina, and it's time for another Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic. These days, since so many people are quilting, I thought it might be a good idea to review how to install your walking foot on your machine. So today I'm working here with the new Gina 4120 QDC in this new cool grape color. It's a fun purple color. So with your walking foot, or your even feed foot as Gina calls it, you do need to remove your foot, your regular foot, and your walking foot is a screw-on foot, so we're also going to have to remove our ankle, and you're going to loosen this screw here on the left side. You may not have to take it all the way off depending on your particular model of machine. Some of the ankles or shanks here have a slot that just slides around the screw. You don't have to take it all the way out. I don't like to do that if I don't have to, because it's always a little tricky getting it back in again. There we go. And the walking foot here, let me back up for a second and we'll take a look at it. Your walking foot or dual feed foot has teeth here that are going to kind of do what your feed dogs do underneath your fabric. These are going to do the same thing on the top. So it kind of prevents the presser foot pressure from pushing your top layer forward while it's pulling the bottom layer backwards. That's how we end up with those seams that are uneven, where our fabrics don't match by the time we get to the end of the seam. So you'll see here's the slot where this is going to go around the screw, and there's this little funny arm here. This needs to go over the needle screw, which is here. And you'll see what happens when I raise and lower. That's what makes the foot actually walk and help to move your fabric along. So I find it easier if I put my thumb there and hold that arm up as I slide this around from the back side, and we can just pull it forward. And I'm going to tighten that up just a little bit so I can bring the needle down and show you. You'll see here I've got that arm up over top of my needle screw. So be sure you get that in there good and tight. And I always recommend that you use a screwdriver whenever you're dealing with screws on your machine, because you don't want to have this foot loosen and get wiggly, then you might hit it with the needle. So you always want to be sure that's on nice and tight. And let me show you how that works now. And you'll see here that when the needle goes down, these little teeth pop up. And when the needle is up, those teeth go back down to pull your fabric along. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of a view from the side, and maybe that'll make it a little bit easier to see it there. So you see, needle goes down, feet come up, needle goes up, feet go down. And so that's going to help keep our fabric moving through the machine at an even pace, the top and the bottom layers together. So that's all there is to putting on your walking foot. For your particular brand, it may be slightly different, but generally that's the way most of your walking feet look. I'm going to take that back off real quick because I want to show you one other thing. Some different brands will include with that walking foot a quilting guide bar. And let me just show you here how that one goes on for the Gina. You've got this, this is sort of a spring here in the back, but we're just going to put our walking foot, we kind of have to push it in here and slide it across, and it comes out the other side. Takes a little bit of pressure, but you can see we've got that same interesting looking little spring there. And so this allows you to have a guide. Once your fabric comes down over here, we end up, blocking all of our markings on the bed of our machine. So what this allows us to do is, with our previous row of stitching here, we can line up our guide, and that's going to keep us an equal distance from the previous stitching when we sew our next row of stitching. And you can slide this in or out and line it up for whatever distance you like. But check that out. You may have that for the walking foot that you have for your machine. So this has been your Kingdom Sewing Minute Clinic.